Thank you for joining us. I am Jerry Krentz, Associate Director of Communications for the Duke Endowment and Fellowship Advisor. Joining me are Will Jones, our 2015-2017 Fellow, Kristen Richardson Frick, a Program Officer in our Rural Church Program area, and Charisma Hibbler, our 2016-2018 Fellow. We're here to share information about the Duke Endowment and the Fellowship Program. The picture you see is of James B. Duke, a prominent tobacco and electric power industrialist who established the Duke Endowment in 1924. His goal was to improve lives and communities in North Carolina and South Carolina by nurturing children, promoting health, educating minds, and enriching spirits. Once he made his fortune in business, Mr. Duke wanted to give back to the community that had supported him, so he directed that the endowment's resources remain in the Carolinas. Mr. Duke made an initial gift of $40 million to establish his foundation. He died just 10 months later and left an additional $67 million to the endowment. Mr. Duke was specific in his indenture of trust about how the Duke Endowment would meet the needs of Carolinians. This commitment led to our 4 program areas: child care, health care, higher education, and rural United Methodist churches. Within these program areas, the endowment makes strategic, long-term grants to address root causes of issues and widespread challenges. We often work with nonprofits to test promising approaches. The endowment has an evaluation department that helps us and our grantees identify desired results of projects and then measure their impact. Over the years, the endowment has made significant investments in the Carolinas, as the next slide indicates. We have awarded more than $3 billion in grants since 1924, and our grant making has grown from decade to decade. Today, the endowment has about $3.3 billion in assets, making it one of the top 20 U.S. private foundations. Our offices are located in Charlotte, not Durham. In 2014, we moved from downtown to our first standalone headquarters in the Dilworth neighborhood, about a mile away. Our new building is designed to be environmentally sustainable and is LEED certified. We have 40 employees, including employees in all 4 grant-making areas, as well as in IT, finance, communications, evaluation, and human resources. Now I'll turn things over to Will to talk specifically about the fellowship program.
The fellowship program began in 2005 with 2 primary goals. One is to cultivate future nonprofit and philanthropic leaders, and the other is to encourage creative thinking and bring new perspectives to the endowment. The fellowship experience lasts for 2 years as we spend 1 6-month grant cycle in each of our 4 program areas. Typically, the fellow begins in a higher education program area and then rotates through rural church, child care, and healthcare over the 2 years. The commitment usually begins and ends in the summer. Fellows rotate through each of our 4 grant-making areas. We assist with site visits to current and potential grantees. The endowment has a long-standing tradition of face-to-face contact with our grantees, so a fair amount of travel across Carolinas is inherent to our work. Fellows also participate in projects and research, which are guided by the needs of the program area and the interests of the fellow. I will now turn it over to Charisma, who will explain the capstone project.
Fellows also complete a capstone while at the endowment. This signature project can take any variety of forms and is personally interesting to the fellow and additive to the endowment. Fellows aren't expected to come to the endowment with a specific project in mind. Rather, they develop their project as they consult with staff. Some of the projects have included a multifaceted intervention program to improve literacy in rural church communities, an HPV school vaccination site program, and a joint project in healthcare and rural church that focused on Latino health outreach in the Wilmington area. Another capstone was a research project that created a plan to scale up an evidence-based program. A recent capstone researched job training programs for youth aging out of foster care and created a screening tool to measure their effectiveness and success. As part of their professional development, fellows also attend state, regional, and national conferences in addition to other collaborative programming related to our work. There is also the opportunity to participate in leadership positions in statewide philanthropic organizations such as North Carolina Network of Grantmakers. Finally, fellows receive performance feedback and coaching throughout their time at the endowment, which prepares them for leadership positions in nonprofit and philanthropic organizations. I'm now going to turn it over to Kristen, a program officer in Rural Church, to detail the eligibility requirements and desired qualifications of a fellow.
As stated in the Indenture of Trust, the Duke Endowment was established to improve and support organizations in North Carolina and South Carolina. Therefore, our fellowship program follows a very similar model. To be eligible, applicants must fall into one of two categories. They must be a current or past resident of North Carolina or South Carolina, or a recent graduate of a college or university in the Carolinas. The pictures you have seen so far are actual endowment staff and past fellows. The endowment is looking for individuals with an undergraduate degree who also have at least 1 to 2 years of work experience and or a graduate degree. Now that we've had a number of fellows, we have found that some work experience or graduate school training is beneficial to both the fellow and the endowment, particularly as fellows need to be able to navigate the various activities they are responsible for. In addition to strong academics, which can come from any discipline, we look for applicants with a service-oriented background, students who are connected to their communities and community issues in some way. We have had a variety of academic and work backgrounds that you can read more about on our Past Fellows page of the endowment website. You can also learn what former fellows have gone on to do after the fellowship. So we want to receive applications from all types of backgrounds and disciplines, but there are several characteristics we look for. The fellowship position is very independent, so we look for applicants who are self-directed and motivated, and who are flexible and able to multitask. We like to see people who are willing to try something new and bring innovative and fresh thinking to the table. Challenging old or current ideas is encouraged. Critical thinking skills to analyze, interpret grant applications and policy briefs and published research are important. A portion of each rotation is site visits, so not only are good written and oral communication skills needed when presenting to our board, but also when meeting with grantees. Fellows should have the ability to communicate with people of all walks of life and from diverse backgrounds. We like to say that fellows need to be comfortable in their skin because they will be interacting with church leaders, clinicians, PhDs, and high school graduates. We do not expect applicants to have experiences in all 4 grant-making areas, but we like to see that an applicant has the knowledge of or experience in at least one area.
Thank you, Kristen. As you can see, we have a competitive salary and benefits package. In particular, it is worth noting that the endowment pays the full cost of an employee's medical insurance, and we also provide a stipend for moving. Our application and important dates are on our website under the Overview section of the Fellowship page. Each year we receive between 75 and 100 applications. We ask that all candidates submit their applications online along with 2 references and your resume. There will be detailed instructions on the application. Our final decisions will be made in March. So that's it. We hope this presentation gives you a better idea of what the fellowship program is, what we are looking for in our applicants, and some more detail on our application and selection process. You'll find contact information and frequently asked questions on our website. Please feel free to contact us with any questions.